Welcome to the David Pakman Show. My name is Brittany Page, and I host the Page Perspective right here on YouTube. Today, I am the very lucky guest host for David. I'm in Washington, D.C., where Donald Trump and his supporters recently infiltrated our city. I was on the ground covering the Trump events for 2 days, and I will have more to say about that later in this episode. I'm sure many of you, like me, are still reeling from this horrible situation we now find ourselves in, and I hope you're taking time to take care of yourselves while also trying to stay informed. So now let's get into the news for today. I want to start with how the mainstream media is failing to hold power to account. And this is truly a wild example from the New York Times going full big strong guy on us. We've all heard this term by now, sane-washing. I think the first time that I heard it was from Aaron Rupar, but I'd love to know where you first heard it. Sane-washing refers to what we see all the time from mainstream media, this attempt to make Donald Trump and his unhinged behavior seem not so unhinged. And we're going to start with this image. This is the first thing I saw when I woke up and opened my New York Times app to check what they were highlighting as the most important and relevant news of the day. What do we have here? Headline: Trump asserts a muscular vision of presidential power as he takes over. What? Are they... I don't think that I can cuss on the David Pakman Show, so are they listening to themselves? Was the alternate here, big, strong man Donald Trump uses presidential power so beautifully that Americans come together with tears in their eyes to say, "Thank you, sir"? Was that it? Maybe they thought that would be going too far. Well, let's hear what the reporter, Charlie Savage, had to say about the big, strong, muscular vision that Donald Trump is bringing to the presidency. Quote, after President Trump left the White House in 2021, critics of his norm-breaking use of executive power implored Congress to tighten legal limits on when presidents can unilaterally reshape American government with the stroke of a pen. But lawmakers largely did not act. On Monday, as Mr. Trump took the oath of office to begin his second term, he asserted a muscular vision of presidential power. He not only revived some of the same expansive understandings of executive authority that were left unaddressed, but went even further with new claims of sweeping and inherent constitutional clout. Among a blizzard of executive orders, end quote, it continues, he goes on to select the executive orders that he wants to talk about throughout the article, but let's pull some of the phrases that he used there. First, we had, quote, critics of his norm-breaking use of executive power. So his use of executive power, does it break norms or is it muscular and strong? He also wrote, among a blizzard of executive orders, expansive understandings of executive authority, norm-breaking, or big, strong man use powers. The framing of the story matters. And these people know that it matters, and they know what appeals to Donald Trump. This framing, this appeals to Donald Trump. And honestly, all I could think of when I was reading this line about Trump asserted a muscular vision of presidential power in the context of his countless executive orders was this moment from the signing of one of those orders just the other day.
I said, I can live with most of them. They took a very safe route. They don't have any bad ones up there.
Withdrawing from
What is this one?
Withdrawing from the World Health Organization, sir?
Ooh, that's a big one.
One, he doesn't even know what he's signing and has to ask what it is. Two, once he learns what it is, he says, ooh, that's a big one. And I'm not going to spend the next 4 years playing these clips and telling you all that this man is an idiot. I know he's an idiot. You know he's an idiot. So why is it so hard for the mainstream media to acknowledge what we can all plainly see with our own eyes? They are afraid. They're afraid of lawsuits. They're afraid of getting on his bad side. Some of what is happening behind the scenes here with the press was revealed in this article from the Columbia Journalism Review. The title is "The White House Press Corps Gears Up for Another Trump Term," with the subtitle "Plenty to Worry About, but Some Are Looking Forward to the Press Having Better Access." So we're already not starting off on the best spot here. In this report, they quote a White House print reporter who told CJR that things, quote, haven't been great under Biden for the press. They highlight frustrations related to Biden being kept away from reporters, how reporters have had to be referred to in-house experts for questions, which definitely seems like not a problem. They reference Biden's requirement for pre-approved questions. One reporter, characterized as a veteran White House reporter in the article, is quoted as saying, quote, "For a lot of people, what was the point in even going to the White House press briefings, because they often didn't have an opportunity to ask questions." But what these reporters have to say about Donald Trump is disturbing. And I'm going to read from the report now. Quote, "Trump, on the other hand, adores the attention of the media, even as he frequently maligns the reporters themselves. During his first term, he regularly chatted with White House reporters during strolls to Marine One and held a number of high-profile, if occasionally ill-conceived, televised sit-downs with everyone from Axios' Jonathan Swan to Barstool Sports' Dave Portnoy. Parenthetically, on his first night back, Trump spent 45 minutes casually answering media questions in the Oval Office while he signed executive orders." Quote, "Despite his sometimes strident and sometimes even violent rhetoric about the press, he loves talking to us," the print reporter said. Quote, "And his team, they like talking to us, and they know that they're going to have a huge audience." Is that what's most important here? Attention and audience? Is that how these people view their role in reporting on a Donald Trump White House? If it is, we have a problem. But we already know we have a problem, right? Here's what's scary about all of our main sources of information being captured by the fascists, the billionaires, the far right, the people who just want attention. They want to eliminate objective truth. They want to eliminate media literacy. They want everyone so scared, so confused, so bombarded with lies and half-truths that they can't keep up with what is true. And not to do an independent media plug, but this is in fact why we need independent media more than ever. Even if it isn't the David Pakman Show or the Page Perspective, my show on YouTube, we need to support independent media, and independent media needs to come together more often to build an alternative to these outlets.
I've been sleeping on a Helix sleep mattress for years now. Couldn't love it more. Before Helix, I'd just buy whatever generic mattress from a store, thinking they're all basically the same. Turns out I was very wrong. Since switching to Helix, my sleep has improved. Helix mattresses are customized to your needs. I took the 1-minute sleep quiz where I gave input like my height, my real height, not like you know who, my weight, my real weight, not like you know who. My sleeping position, firmness preference, whether I have back pain, whether I run hot or cold, and Helix matched me with the right mattress for my preferences, and it's been a total game changer. My favorite part is it stays cool while I sleep. Most people don't even know what they need in a mattress, and all Helix mattresses come with a 10-year warranty. You also get 100 nights to test it out. If you don't love it, they'll pick it up for free and refund your money, and they'll even remove your old mattress if you want. My audience gets 20% off plus 2 free pillows with all mattress orders when you go to helixsleep.com/Pakman. The link is in the description.